How you all doing? This is Dale from Any Reviews, and today I would like to review the Hollyland VenusLiv Air V2. A while back, I'll leave a video description of that up above, so you can look at that if you like. I kind of want to just talk about this the VenusLiv Air real quick. I will say, let me before I forget, this microphone is plugged directly into the VenusLiv Air. This is the Fine Tank 3. I've reviewed this microphone as well on my channel. If you want to see that review, please, I'll leave a link to that up above as well. I'm not sponsored by Hollyland or Fine. I paid for the microphone with my own money. I paid for the camera with my own money as well. So I just kind of want to get that out there because I know I watched a video where somebody had asked a question: can you plug a microphone directly up to the actual camera? And both the Live Air and the V2, which is Hollyland's other camera, both of them have Type-C for the microphone. They have a Type-C microphone jack, and they also have a 3.5 millimeter jack as well. When me and my wife shoot our podcast, and I've used the V2, I would just take I have a white cable, is two LXR cables, and going to 3.5 millimeter, and I would put that in my podcast mixer under the two headphones, turn it up halfway, and then I put the other part inside of the camera, and it allows you to use these microphones while plugged into an actual mixer. Because these microphones right here, they are Type-C. You can use them on your computer, and they also are XLR. I mean, you can just put them into a mixer or some type of mixing board. So these microphones are very versatile. One of the things that I wanted to say when I initially got the VenusLiv Air, I really only got it for one reason, if I'm to be honest, and that was the image quality. For those who seen my video of the Venus V2, one of the things that I mentioned in that video is that image quality wasn't that good unless you had good lighting and you were in a room. And even then, I thought it was still okay at best. I don't think the image quality is better. Osbot Tail Air, which came out in 2018, and I've done a review of that video as well if you want to check it out. But I will say is that I'm satisfied with the purchase because I only got the Live Air because the image quality is superb. I was watching one video where a guy actually compared it to a mirrorless camera image quality. No, it was not on par with the mirrorless camera image quality, but it got close to it. It got close enough where I was like, oh, I like that. So I will say that. I will say with the Venus V2, you don't have mirrorless like image quality at all. I don't want to deceive anybody. Maybe I'll do a side-by-side. When you have 4K, you can't use the green screen. So just wanted you guys to see. I just want you guys to see the image quality. I guess now that I look at it, doesn't look that bad. But one of the things you will see is that when you actually look at the Venus Live Air, is that the image qualities can't be matched. You know what I'm saying? And I will say the whole time I want to say I don't have a lighting kit. I have just a light on in my room. I actually meant to cut it on before I started recording the videos, but I just didn't. I forgot. So now I'm like, well, whatever. But one of the things I do like is that you can control the aperture of the camera, so it can allow more light to come into the actual lens. But I just want you guys to get a good idea and see real quick. This is, again, now I am using the Venus V2. This is the V2 now. And of course, when I click back to the VenusLiv Air, I'll put the word on the screen so you guys know, you're not confused. Like, hey, what is he using? Because I don't want anybody to be confused. So, but again, this is the Venus V2, the one that has the you're able to click on the green screen on this. You're able to actually go on TikTok live on this. You can actually video record the screen. It's a setting in the camera where you can record the screen. So if you were live and you didn't want to actually record yourself live, you want to just record whatever on your screen, you can be able to do that. So let me click out real quick, and I will cut on the green screen real quick. See like that. Now you're seeing whatever setting I chose on my green screen. I can choose other backgrounds like this. Boom, apply, and it does that. And so this is one of the things that I love about the V2 is the different. Let me choose a little more. See, Now let me see what I have right here. I have that, and I'll just go to I'll go to a room. This is a favorite of mine right here. Let's see. You can do all that from the V2. You can click through the different screens. I can actually have a video too of a waterfall background that my kids love. My kids will like, take us to the waterfall. And I'll set it in front of the camera because usually I'll hook up my camera, the V2 and the VenusLiv Air. You have the ability to hook it up to a monitor because it has a HDMI, it has an HDMI port. You have to have that on cable yourself. So it has a HDMI port. Also too, right here, you can see I'm controlling it from my tablet. Can you see that? You see that? But everything you're seeing on screen right now, I'm actually able to record that to control it from my tablet. I can cut on the green screen from my tablet. I can cut on TikTok from my tablet. I can cut on the different settings on the apertures and the things from my tablet, all that, or phone. If you don't have a tablet and you want to use a phone, I'm not sure about a computer. I think for right now they only make the app for Android and Apple for the tablets or the iPad or the iPhones. So I don't think they have a setting you can use for a PC. And that's mainly because they actually have a PC software. Hollyland Studio, I'm sorry. It's called Hollyland Studio, where you can actually control all that stuff from the actual software and record from the software as well. But when you record it, it would go to your computer. It wouldn't save to your camera. I'm sure you can set it up to save to your camera, but I haven't figured that out yet. Now, one of the things I did want to say too is that on the V2, you can copy or save videos to the actual camera. You can't do that on the Live Air. The Live Air, you have to have an SD card, and that's what I mean when I was I just think that the VenusLiv Air is such a limited device compared to the V2, and it's supposed to be a newer. I won't say maybe Hollyland didn't advertise it as being a better camera. Maybe that's just what I expected it to be, because when it was first advertised back in November, when I first saw it, it was more than the V2. But now maybe that's why Hollyland adjusted the price. Venus V2 is a better camera. It's a walking, talking. Well, I guess it's not walking and talking, but it's a carried studio. Should I say? You're carrying a studio with you. Essentially, because you can go on TikTok, you can go on Facebook, YouTube, all that from the actual camera itself. Versus with the Venus Live Air, you can't do that. So in fact, before we leave, I'm share the waterfall. See, I'm sharing my waterfall. Y'all don't think I'm lying to y'all. You know what I'm saying? See that? I'm in the waterfall, nature, in my house. No, I'm joking. But my kids love this. My kids love this. They love the waterfall. Again, you can only get this with a green screen. So thank you guys for watching this. Now let's click back to the actual Hollyland VenusLiv Air video, and I'll continue to tell you about that. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, just let me know. You know what I'm saying? I love making these videos for you all. Oftentimes I make these videos because when I'm watching videos, I have questions, and then when I get the product and I watch other people's videos still on these products, people have questions in the comments. So I'm like, you know what? And most of the time, people just get these big YouTubers. If we're being honest, they get this stuff from Hollyland to hold for about a month or two. They're not actually the ones that are consuming the product, meaning buying it for themselves. They're getting it given to them by the company for a time period, and then they give it back and say, well, this is what my review of it is. And the review isn't really authentic, because if you were paying for it, would you have the same views? And so it's like, I paid for this. I paid for this camera out of my own pocket. I like the cameras. I like that the VenusLiv Air has a better image quality than the V2. So that's just, again, that's my opinion. Take it or leave it. That's fine. So let's go back to the VenusLiv Air real quick, and we'll continue to talk about that. One of the things, so the image quality of the VenusLiv Air is much more superior than the V2. That's a fact. But one of the things that kind of disappointed me about the Live Air, and I felt like Hollyland really did it as a money grab, is if you didn't know any better, and this is for speaking for myself, if you didn't know any better, you would have thought that the VenusLiv Air was a step above the V2, or Venus Live V2, which is, again, this right here. you would have thought, oh man, it's a step above that in the sense that it has the same features, it just has better image quality. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not the case at all. That's not even closely the case. In my opinion, the V2 is actually the better camera. It's the better camera. If you remove the image quality factor, the V2 is by far a more superior camera than the Live Air. Some of you may say, well, Dale, what do you mean by that? I'm glad you asked me. What I mean is that the Venus V2 has the ability to have overlays and cut the green screen on and off, which is why I have behind me and my wife, we actually I bought this green screen for our podcast setting. It's 12x8. So I have it on a divider in my room, and I have it clamped to the top, and I steamed it out. So when we go on the when we cut the green screen pictures on, you can't see the wrinkles or anything. But so yeah, I am a green screen behind me. I got it because of the that factor of having to be able to have nice different nice backgrounds. I will say that with the Live Air, and also too, before I forget, in most cases, this video I'm shooting on the Venus Live Air right now. It's not connected to a laptop or anything. It's just the camera and the SD card. All the image that you're seeing here is being recorded to an SD card. Starting last year, when I first bought the Osbotel Air, I started to record it just the cameras because before the middle of last year, I would always record using OBS because I had webcams. Now that since I started using cameras like the Osbotel Air and the Venus and the V2, which have SD cards, you can just record directly to those cameras and not have a computer attached. I'm actually right now in a podcast room, my wife's podcast room, where there's no computers or nothing in his room. It's just a kind of a lounge and a TV in front of me, which I play video games and we watch movies. But besides that, this is just a lounge. There's no computer in here, nowhere. This is being recorded on the SD card, not on a computer. Why you mention that for, Dale? I mentioned that because with the V2, you can have overlays. You can turn the green screen on and off. I actually have different green screen images saved to this one, but with the Live Air, you can't do that. You have to actually have a computer in order to do that. You have to have the computer to use overlays. You have to have a computer or a laptop to use the green screen, cut it on and off. And that was, for me, that was really, really something that was like, wow, so this is, you created a more superior camera, but it can't do what the V2 can do. Because initially what I wanted to do was I was looking to replace my V2 with this camera. But now that I've got it and I see that it doesn't have those features, I won't be doing that, because again, whenever I record my podcast or have the different Google Meets, or me and my wife, sometimes, we host webinars. It'd be nice to have the different backgrounds and stuff. I know that you can do that with Zoom and Google Meets. They have a virtual background, but one of the things I'll tell you is that if you don't have a green screen, like if I cut on a virtual background on Zoom or Meets and start moving, you can tell. When I cut on the green screen on my V2 and I'm on Google Meets or Zoom, people like, if I move, you don't know it's a green screen background. That's the difference, is that a real green screen gives you that actual real background look. And if you move, it don't kind of blur in or blur out like the Zoom and the Google Meets does. So that's one reason why, I would tell people, if you want that real effect, get an actual green screen. They're like, I pay like $19 for it on Amazon. So it's not expensive. So the V2 has the V2 has more inside of it. It has a 5-inch screen. You can go TikTok live on this by itself, and you can actually see you going to TikTok live. The Live Air doesn't even have that option. It doesn't have the option to pull up TikTok on the screen. Of course, it's 3-inch screen. I don't think you want to anyways. The Live Air, you can go on the Wi-Fi, and I believe you can stream from this camera, but it's not as seamless as it is with the V2. And so, a part of me is like, wow, Hollyland they really didn't make that stuff a known or aware, or make the consumers aware of that. And I feel like that was probably done intentionally which was, in my mind, is very misleading. You know, I don't think it's not a problem. I mean, ultimately, it is what it is. I didn't pay full price for it. I didn't pay full price for the V2, and I didn't pay full price for the Live Air. I got both from B&H used. I paid $471 for the Live Air off B&H, and I paid like four something as well for the V2. Again, for anyone out there who's wondering, the V2 is the more superior camera, minus the image quality. It is the more superior camera. It's versatile. Right now, I have the I have the Live Air plugged into the wall. You have to have it always plugged into a wall. Yes, you can go out there. I've seen people who have it, who go out there with a setup with the V mount, and I don't know if the V mount also makes the batteries as well, or it's a third party, but you're gonna spend about $150 to $200 for that setup, in addition to buying the camera. So the camera is $549.99, brand new. So you're gonna spend $549.99 for a camera, which is gonna be like maybe $6 with taxes. Then you're gonna go out and spend an extra $150 to $200 for a V mount, and to be able to mount, actually get the battery to that camera. For all of that, just buy this, because I got this. Let me see real quick. The camera is for something. Like, I think it's actually 7 something now. They've actually increased the price of the camera on all the platforms for the V2. You can see right here. You can see that for the V2. But I paid 4 something for the V2, and I went to Walmart.com and got 3 batteries for it. 3 batteries. Walmart.com, $54.99, like $60 with tax. You know, with shipping. So I got 3 batteries for it, and it also came with a charger that charges 2 batteries at a time. So if you're gonna spend $550 for a camera, and then go out and spend another, well, it might be worth it now with the price of the V2 going up. It actually might be worth it just to go ahead and buy the VenusLiv Air with the battery and the V mount. But I feel like, again, that's very catchy on Hollyland's part, because why is it that a newer camera is less, but the one that came out before that costs more? You see what I'm saying? It's like they're forcing you to buy the Live Air. If your price range, if paying like $700 is out of your price range for, let me look real quick. Yeah, so yeah, the VenusLiv V2 is $949.99 at B&H now, and I don't even and it probably won't show it in stock on Hollyland.com. So what they're doing is they're actually forcing you to go out and buy the Live Air if you wanted the Venus V2, which to me, that's bad marketing from this company. It really is. Like, I hate when companies do crap like that. So an older camera costs more than the newer camera. In what world does that make sense? That's like Sony coming out with the PS6, but the PS5 still costs more than the PS6. That doesn't make sense. And I felt like they're doing that because, you know, one, they're forcing you to buy this new camera if you don't want to pay that 900 some bucks, because with the price you could pay for one V2, you could really just get, you know, 2 Venus Airs. To be honest, give or take another $100. So, but I did, you know, I didn't want to go on a rant with this video, but I did want people to be aware of that. The VenusLiv Air, it does not have the capability for you to be pull up TikTok on the actual screen or other apps. Like the Venus V2 has apps on the screen. Like, it has an Android. I don't know if it's Android, but it probably is a variant of Android. But it has apps where you can put apps on the actual screen, like TikTok and other stuff, and then you can actually go to TikTok, because I can watch TikTok videos from the V2. I'm gonna show you real quick. You can't do that with the Live Air. You can't pull up TikTok videos. I can go on Facebook on my on the V2. You can't do that on the Live Air. So I feel like they came out with a camera that ultimately, and let me say this right before I will say the V2 is a very heavy camera. The V2 is very heavy. It's a very heavy camera. See right here. It's a video on TikTok from. It's a video from TikTok on. This is the V2. See that? It's the V2 video on TikTok. So, and it has the option to be able to pull up other apps stuff. So I just wanted to say, if you want the more superior camera, I would say I would definitely go look for the V2. Even if you can probably find it used somewhere on eBay for less than what you're going to pay for it brand new at B&H and Hollyland. I don't believe they carry it anymore on their website. So they're I guess my theory is because they couldn't bury the evidence of this camera or get rid of it, they just jacked the price up, or they told their retailers, hey, jack the price up of this camera, so people are forced to buy the VenusLiv Air. And again, one of the things you can't control is the eBay market, or marketplace, Facebook marketplace, or like or offer up. So you can definitely probably find it on those places as well for cheaper. But one of the things that people try to do is they try to money grab. If I know that the V2 is no longer carried by the maker of it, but the retailers have it for $900, I just charge $750. And so at that point it becomes like, wow, because again, even at its conception, the V2, it was only $499. I got mine for like $408. I think $408. I paid $408 for it and used the B&H. And this was back in November of 25. So a few months ago. It's ain't like it was a year ago. This was like November of 25. I paid $408 for the VenusLiv V2, and now it's $950, $700 on eBay. It's insane, And so I will say again, there aren't any reviews. This is just I wanted to share some of the things about the VenusLiv Air. I will say it's a very light camera. The Live Air compared to the V2, it's like a cloud. It's light. The V2 is heavy. It is heavy. It's a heavy camera. It's a very heavy camera. Also too, one of the things about the just another comparisons. One of the comparisons also that I'll say is that with the Live Air, it doesn't have an internal microphone. What I mean by that is if you don't use a microphone, or if you don't use a USB microphone, it doesn't pick up sound. The V2 has an internal microphone, so it'll actually pick up sound like a DSLR camera would without having a microphone. The VenusLiv Air does not pick up sound. It does not have an internal microphone. It does not have the ability to pick up any kind of audio whatsoever if you do not plug a microphone into it. It does not. It will not. It cannot. The V2, it does. It has an internal microphone. I'll show you, like right here too. The V2 has a menu, just kind of like your Android phone. It has a microphone, sound, all the other good stuff, and you just don't get that with the Live Air. So I just want to say that when it came in, I was very excited, but I was also disappointed. Of course, when I found out that just the different things about it. It doesn't have the apps inside of the camera. You can't use the green screen or use the overlays, which is the words across the screen, apart from using a laptop or a computer. Big disappointment. For a camera that's supposed to be better than the one that I paid for, big disappointment. Now, I don't want to say, I don't want to go out there and make it seem like I'm trashing the VenusLiv Air, because I'm not. I'm just saying that if you're somebody that had never bought the V2, these things probably wouldn't you wouldn't care, because you don't know. I had both cameras. I have the V2 and I have the Live Air. And so I'm kind of thinking about that, like, wow, I can't believe that they would create a camera like that, and it wouldn't at least be on par. Because I was thinking that the VenusLiv Air, I was gonna sell my V2. I was like, dang. So I'm thinking the VenusLiv Air is just like the V2. It's just smaller screen and better image quality. No, not the case at all. Not even the same camera. Now the way that they are the same is that they both are streaming cameras that can be used to stream 24 hours. That's where they are the same. You know, as far as the functionality of why Hollyland created the cameras. They created them to be cameras that could be streaming cameras, better than a webcam, and can be used to stream for 24 hours straight, consistently. That is where they both excel in. And I mentioned on my previous on the review that I did of the V2, VenusLiv V2, that me and my wife hosted a webinar for our podcast for about 3.5 hours, and it didn't break a sweat. It was going strong the whole time. So I will say that if you're somebody who does live streaming and you want to get it for that, yes, I will say one of the reasons why I decided to keep the Venus V2 was the price of it has gone up. And in the past, what I would do is I would sell something, because me and my wife, you know, those who are familiar with my channel, we're also into resell, you know, e-commerce. So we also sell things as well. We have a e-commerce business where we sell things, we buy things for cheap and we sell them. So in the past, I would sell something, only to have to go back and buy it again. Perfect example, I have the early last year, the Hollyland microphone comes with the a US Type C port where you put it into a camera or computer with the two microphones. It has noise cancellation. But last year, I sold this. Well, I sold one, and only for my wife to come around and was like, "Yo, do we still have that the microphone with the Type C?" I said, "No, I sold it." So she was like, "Well, you know, I liked it a lot because what I did was I bought the Comica right here. I bought the Comica because it has 4 receivers. I bought this to replace it. It's 4 different receivers, but the only thing is the Comica. It has a you can connect it to a camera with a 3.5 millimeter jack to the computer, both the Live Air and the V2 and the Osbot Tail Air as well. But my wife she makes TikTok videos, so she wanted something to have for TikTok, and I was like, oh, I sold it. So I actually went back and bought it again. I had it on, I saw it on eBay for like 20 bucks, 25 bucks. So I went and bought it. So that's why I said I'm this time around. I learned from my past, the past. I'm not selling I'm not selling the V2. I'm keeping it, because when I go in the field, I can use that because it has batteries, and the batteries last about 4.5, 5 hours. So I got 3 batteries, 5 hours, 3 batteries just for 15 hours of filming. So I told my wife, you know, 'cause my wife was like, well, why you gonna keep both cameras for? I said, well, whenever we go on a vacation or whenever we go to other people's, we do have other friends who have podcasts, I could just take that with us and just set it up on a tripod, batteries, and just film podcasts with them and or for them. So I'm not getting rid of the V2 because the price has gone up, and I don't want to have to if I need it again for something, I don't want to have to buy it again and pay way more money than when I pay for it. So it's best just to keep it.
Thank you guys for watching the review. I realized that I forgot to record an outro, but thank you guys again for watching my product review. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. Please like the video, comment on the video, like and share it. And again, if you have any questions, maybe questions that I didn't touch that you would like to know about the Hollyland VenusLiv Air and the V2, please let me know in the comments below, and I can do another video if need be, or can just address it in the comments. Until next time, definitely any reviews. Peace.